Promising Young Woman. So Promising Young Woman is one of those films that follows a very, very sensitive subject area, and within this film you kind of get to understand the situations that happen in real life and in this film, while also giving us a bit of a story to tell from a cinematic perspective. So before I saw this film, I kind of thought to myself, this looks like it could be something that will potentially strike a lot of anger and controversy, while also giving us a sense of truth and authenticity about what happens in the world, as well as giving potential credit, to the filmmakers and the performers as well. Promising Young Woman follows Cassie, a 30-year-old waitress by day, but by night feigns drunkenness to teach men somewhat of a moral lesson about taking advantage of women, pursuing a path of revenge for her late best friend who became a victim of rape. The clearest theme is obviously revenge, and what I always find with films that involve it, it's depicted about as wrong as it is right. I mean, Kill Bill proved that with The Bride. The film was directed by female director Emerald Fennell, who I remember seeing for the first time in season 3 and 4 of The Crown, where she played Camilla. This is actually her directorial debut, and I do deeply admire actors who make that transition from performing to directing, and I find sometimes that their debuts are often their best achievements. I mean, look at Orson Welles for Citizen Kane, Dennis Hopper for Easy Rider, Jordan Peele for Get Out, and also Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born. So I think it's really important that it's been a woman who's done this film, because it's primarily from a woman's perspective. It's the idea of how women are treated in society and in this film, and how men perceive them. So yes, there are some political elements of gender equality and, you know, how men perceive women as this sexual object, but it also goes into how women perceive men. So it doesn't necessarily just trash men entirely, but it kind of has a bit of a fine balance, and I think it just tries to depict realities of situations that do happen in real life, while also giving us a story in a thriller, horror, and also black comedy kind of fashion. And I thought her script was absolutely fantastic. It kind of feels for me that it's a semi-autobiographical story, not just from her experience, but maybe from someone she knows, or maybe just her general imagination of how women are perceived by men in general society. It also opens people's eyes and definitely becomes a bit of a life lesson. And also the fact that Margot Robbie, an actress who is probably one of the most objectified women over the past 10 years, serves as co-producer of this film. And for me, that speaks 1,000 volumes as to what this film is trying to represent. And weirdly, watching this film as recently as I did could not have come at a more uncanny yet more crucial time, given the uproar, everything that's going on regarding the Sarah Everard case. So in a way, I think now, because the film's in the domain and having received loads of Oscar nominations and critical acclaim, that real life case will be laid back to a part of the film. But even so, it's an absolute eye-opener of a film, while also giving us a bit of entertainment at the same time. But despite the very sensitive subject area and the themes surrounding it, the production values were absolutely top-notch. I'm absolutely gobsmacked it wasn't even nominated for Best Cinematography at the Oscars, because it was colourful, it was dazzling, and it was also very visionary as well. Although there are a lot of actors playing different characters in this film, we only really follow one, and we follow her story on this path of revenge. And what I find really interesting is the fact that not only is she, in my opinion, probably the most unique, original, cinematic female character I've probably seen in quite a long time, you really understood the different emotions that the character was going through, because she would make you laugh, she would make you cry, she would often scare you. She gives you these kind of emotions, and a lot of that is down to the character's unpredictability. And it's that unpredictability that makes her very dangerous, which for me makes me think that people like her hide their true colours behind their smile on their face or their success in their job. So any bog standard person who might be having a normal family life could potentially have the darkest secrets. I suppose it's somewhat similar to Michael Fassbender's character in Shame, which is a coincidence actually, because that film also stars Carey Mulligan, and she definitely does that in this film quite a few times, especially in the opening sequence, which is still haunting me now, when she feigns her drunkenness, which at this point we don't know that she's doing that until it's revealed. Her eyes change, and then she looks sober, and then she's talking to him and sits up, and she stares into the camera and says, "What are you doing?" And she does it in this terrifying tone. While she's not kind of angry that he's doing that, she's kind of doing it to humiliate him. It's about her teaching men a lesson, but while doing it in a very warped and twisted way, where she's just gaining sadistic gratification from it. But as to the actual performance itself, Carey Mulligan was just absolutely spot on. Over the course of her career, I've always seen her as this very sweet and innocent actress, but she's definitely not that in this one. Although she does use a sweet and innocent side through her performance into the character by feigning drunkenness with these men, where they can take advantage of her just because she's attractive and seen as an object, basically. But what I do like about many actors is when they go out of their comfort zone and give us something very daring and very different to anything that we've seen before from them. And Carey Mulligan definitely did that in this one, because as I say, we've always seen her as this very nice and sweet and friendly young woman, but here she's just the opposite of that. And interestingly, after watching the film and recording this review, I read that Carey Mulligan had bad coverage in the press about her apparently not being hot enough for the character, which kind of made me think that you don't necessarily have to be hot enough to give a performance like that. It kind of, for me, represents that any woman can be a victim of this. You don't have to look like a supermodel to be a potential victim of rape in this film or in this scenario in real life. So it's ironic, really, because she uses her beauty as a sense of power to fool these men, while they would perceive her being attractive and drunk as a way to use their power as a man. I don't think it necessarily depicts women as this hidden superior gender. I think for me it just kind of is a basic reality check, really, of how women, or maybe even men in some cases, that it does happen in the world, while also at the same time giving us a very intriguing and engaging story from a cinematic perspective. And I just loved the originality surrounding the film and just creating this unique character that often battled with her own emotions and her own sociopathic kind of mindset. So it is a very twisted tale of revenge, and it does represent itself about as wrong as it is right. But as I say, it is definitely an eye-opener for its viewers, and it's going to be very sensitive for a lot of people to watch it at the moment, given the whole Sarah Everard scenario that's been going on at the moment. So there's a definite message there that's literally to every single person. So it just makes the audience think, and that's exactly what it tries to show. And I can only applaud the director and the actors and the producers for that. Promising Young Woman overall was just absolutely fantastic. I was hooked from start to finish, and it just provoked so many feelings for me. It made me laugh, it made me almost cry, and it often scared me too. And I would certainly tip Carey Mulligan to win the Oscar for Best Leading Actress this year. What did you think of Promising Young Woman? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you did go on to enjoy this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more, and have a notification bell tick for every single time I upload a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.